major developments in the 2012 Republican presidential race, with the first big-name candidates now officially entering the fray.
It's official. Congressman Ron Paul is running for president in 2012.
Congressman Ron Paul of Texas has spent decades espousing his views, and once again, he'll do so on the national stage.
Texas Republican Congressman Ron Paul, hoping the third time is the charm, announcing today that he is indeed running for president of the United States.
Right now, this is the age of Ron Paul.
I am very pleased that I am once again able to say that I am a candidate for the presidency in the Republican Party primary.
We're putting the band back together.
Forget it. Don't. We're on a mission from God.
All right, welcome to This Week in Paul, where we give you the Ron Paul rundown. Got footage you want in the show? Become a Ron Paul reporter at ronpaul2012.tv. Would you like the chance to win a 2008 1-ounce Ron Paul silver medallion? All you have to do to enter is comment, subscribe, and share this report. We'll pick a random commenter from below and send you the silver Ron Paul medallion. The week started strong for Ron Paul when Juan Williams declared he's the man to beat in 2012 on Freedom Watch.
I say this with amazement, but it's becoming more and more clear that we live in the age of Ron Paul, Judge. I mean, you stop and think about it. Who's the father of the Tea Party? It's Ron Paul. I mean, Ron Paul's the guy who began the conversation about debt, deficit, high taxes, government intrusion. He's the guy that's from the start raised questions about U.S. involvement overseas in places like Iraq and Afghanistan.
Right.
He's raised questions about the drug policy. Well, now, all of a sudden, guess what? Ron Paul, not only is he the father of the Tea Party that won the majority of the House for Republicans in the 2010 midterms, but he's the father of so much of the discussion about the budget, about the debt ceiling, about taxes right now. This is the age of Ron Paul.
The congressman kicked off his efforts early in the week in Iowa by opening his first campaign office.
It is exciting to see headquarters open up, the first one for our organization, and this is still in the preliminary stages, an exploratory committee, and I'm very pleased. And I was asked yesterday, you know, whether we're going to do things differently if there's a campaign. And I said, hopefully so, but the pressure so far has been coming from the grassroots about thinking that I'm going to do anything miraculously different, but I do know there's a lot more enthusiasm now than ever before.
With the opening of the campaign office, Paul laid the groundwork for moving into the 2012 presidential election. Before he made his big announcement, the media tried to work him over on his position on the bin Laden assassination. Bill O'Reilly, exemplifying his classic no-spin journalism, called Ron Paul dumb and criticized him for comments made on WHO News Radio 1040.
But he said something this week that's really, really dumb. Roll the tape.
I just want to be clear. President Ron Paul would therefore not have ordered the kill of bin Laden, which would have could only have taken place by entering another sovereign.
I don't think it was necessary, no.
No, you're telling me President Ron Paul would not have ordered the bin Laden kill to take place as it took place in Pakistan?
Not the way it took place, no.
Okay.
I mean, he was unarmed and, you know, all these other arguments.
He was unarmed.
Rather than focus on the violation of a nation's sovereign borders, O'Reilly chose to focus on Paul's mention of bin Laden being unarmed. Then on Good Morning America, after announcing his run for the White House, he clarified his not-so-dumb position.
The thing is we could have done it differently. And besides,
how could we have done it differently?
Ignoring the Pakistani government doesn't help us at all. It looks like we're trying to be more antagonistic toward the Pakistani. They have helped us in the past to catch many terrorists, and I don't see any reason why we can't do that.
But you would have taken the risk,
no,
sir?
I think the process is definitely different. If you compare what we did after World War II, think of the worst Nazis that committed the Holocaust. You know, we arrested them, we tried them, and we hung them. I mean, I don't know why we have to embark on a whole new system just because the people get riled up.
After a rally in Exeter, New Hampshire, Paul further clarified his position on the bin Laden assassination.
I don't think there's anything wrong with recognizing when you go into a sovereign nation that you talk to them. They're supposed to be our allies. We give them a lot of money. They've helped us before. They helped us captured Sheikh Mohammed. He was the mastermind of 9/11. He's in prison. They helped us capture the other individual involved with the first bombing of the towers. And a bunch of them have been captured, brought here, tried, and put in prison for life or executed. I don't know what's wrong with that. I mean, if it would have been, what we do is we build more enemies, and of course they're resenting this fact. But I don't know why we can't talk to them. If for somehow an individual like that was in Toronto, you think we'd have sent in helicopters?
The night before Paul announced his run for the White House, the congressman joined Anderson Cooper on CNN to discuss the war on terror and its cost to the nation.
I don't think that the fact that he is now dead automatically makes us a lot safer. That's my point. And my other complaint has been it costs too much. It costs 10 years, invading 2 or 3 countries, killing a lot of people. 5,000 plus American lives cost, $1 trillion to go after one guy, and we're supposed to now feel a lot safer. But I do think it's a perfect opportunity to say, look, we've spent all that, we've spent all those years and money over there, and he's finally dead. It's time to come home.
On the domestic front, with regards to FEMA and natural disasters, Ron Paul provided a common sense and constitutional solution.
I don't think somebody in New York or New Hampshire or Iowa has to pay for my flood on the Gulf Coast.
So how far would you?
No. But insurance is an old-fashioned way of doing it. Buy insurance. And if the insurance won't sell it to you, it means it's too dangerous. If it's too dangerous, why dump the responsibility on the taxpayer? You know, it doesn't make economic sense. It doesn't make good moral sense. It doesn't make constitutional sense.
On Hardball, Chris Matthews tried to use a classic technique to try to paint Ron Paul as a racist, but Paul gave him the smackdown.
Gimmick, Chris. It's off the wall when you say, I'm for property rights and states' rights, therefore I'm a racist. I mean, that's just outlandish. Because wait, Chris. People who have, let's say that law was there and you could do that. Who's going to do it? What idiot?
Everybody was in the South.
What idiot would do it?
I saw the white-only signs driving through the South in college. Of course they did it. You remember them doing it.
But for you to imply that a property rights person is endorsing that stuff, you don't understand that there would be 0 signs up today saying something like that, and if they did, they would be an idiot and they would be out of business. So I think you're just getting overboard in order to try to turn it around and try to accuse somebody being a racist.
I'm not calling anybody racist. I'm saying the laws are racist.
That's what
The media today serves the interests of their party masters. Here's a clip from REP Freedom Force about today's media as related to fair Ron Paul coverage.
The only reason they pay any respect to him or know anything about his views or positions or because he is so much more powerful and well known than he was the first time around. You know, because that's how people like that think. That's all they respect is fame and power. You know, because that's the only thing that's going to further their careers.
Keep up with the Freedom Force in their new show called Freedom Fridays at their YouTube channel. This week, Congressman Paul chaired a hearing on monetary policy. In this clip, he presents the Federal Reserve as an enabler to Congress permitting unrestrained spending.
It seems like the Federal Reserve System provides a moral hazard in that as long as Congress knows that Treasury bills will be bought and interest rates will not be allowed to rise, therefore the Congress is more careless.
The moment we've anticipated since the end of the 2008 campaign finally arrived this week when Ron Paul appeared on Good Morning America.
You ran in 1988, you ran in 2008. Are you running in 2012?
I am today, and at this moment I'm officially announcing that I am a candidate for president in the Republican primary.
Following his appearance with George Stephanopoulos, who was Bill Clinton's press secretary, he attended a rally in Exeter, New Hampshire. In these photos snapped by Ron Paul 2012.TV reporter Janet Holmes, we can see the throngs of satellite dishes and reporters setting up for the rally. Supporters came from as far as Texas to hear the congressman speak, and there was no shortage of applause for the man who would challenge Obama for the seat behind the Resolute desk. And after the big announcement, Congressman Paul didn't run off like most candidates do. He stuck around and signed autographs and mingled with the people. Speaking on another Fox News interview this week, post-announcement, he pointed out the differences in numbers of supporters since his 2008 run.
We also capitalize on the number of supporters that have actually signed up, and it was the fact that so many have signed up to be volunteers and spontaneously already sending money even before I declared. So if you were compared to those people who put their names on the line 4 years ago when I entered it, it was in the terms of thousands, but now it's in terms of maybe hundreds of thousands.
On Freedom Watch this week, Congressman Paul told a judge why he wants to be President of the United States.
To shrink the size of government and expand the liberty of every single American.
Summing it up rather nicely, Paul expounded on what America has lost and why it needs restoring.
Well, we got off to a grand start. It was never perfect, but we emphasized individual liberty and personal property rights like no other country ever did, and we believed in sound money. We became the freest and most prosperous country in the history of the world. In the last 100 years, and amazingly, it coincides with the introduction of a different foreign policy, the income tax and the Federal Reserve. I think we've lost our liberties and we have undermined our economy to the point where it's more productive for businesses to go overseas, and our jobs are hurting here, and all we do is think that we can print money and spend money and get us out of this mess. And the answer is only to be found in restoring the constitutional limits on federal government to allow us to have a sound currency and believe in free markets. That is the answer to our problem. It's not that complex, and fortunately, I think the sentiment in this country is shifting in our direction, and I'm becoming more optimistic than ever.
Do you want to see Ron Paul in the Oval Office? In this next clip, Aaron, the Ron Paul trainer, laid out some great points on what you will have to do to see victory.
You have to vary what you do in your meetup group. You know, sine waves are really a release from some of the boring and mundane things like canvassing door to door and calling. That's how you win an election. You have to reach likely Republican voters, or you're not going to win a Republican primary. And I know I actually happen to be a Republican, so it's not a problem with me, but I know a lot of you out there are anarchists and libertarians, and you find it very icky to talk to these old ladies that are Republican and they just get all their information from good old great American Sean Hannity. But you have to look around and realizing that we're making headway. I mean, we've got John Stossel on Fox now, we've got the judge, on and on and on. We've had a lot of success, but what it's gonna take is some of us making some compromises and realizing that we have to reach out to, repeat after me, likely Republican voters. That's what you're gonna have to do.
You can check out more of his videos at youtube.com/Ron Paul Trainer. Remember, if you want to win the Ron Paul Silver Piece, you have to comment, subscribe, and share this video. We'll pick a random winner and send you a message. I'll leave you with this message from Ernest Hancock from 4409's latest video.
We have a lot of signs left over that we reused, repurposed, rolled up, had extra stencil stuff left over from the 08 convention, and they're right over there.
Putting the band back together.
Forget it. No way. We're on a mission from God.